There's no other way to slice it. It's hot. Forecasted temperatures for today are in the low 90s. I saw some upper 90s in the very near future. So it is just hot here. So we're going to show you our top 5 ways, just using basic procedures and tips. Well, procedures makes it sound too rigid. These are just tips and techniques that we use to stay cool in our off-grid house. You know, we're not connected to the utilities. We have no power hookups. We have no central AC. So these are tips that almost anybody can do regardless of their living situation. We already did a video about how we stay cool in our Airstream. I will link to that either above or below or something. It'll be there. It'll be there somewhere. But this video is about how we stay cool in that thing right behind me. And I think you're gonna like it. Let me bring you inside.
First thing we do in the morning is once it starts getting hot out and the temperature is actually cooler inside than outside, we close all the windows because they've been open all night. Another great thing about this house is we have ceiling fans in all 3 of the major rooms, and they are constantly going at this point because during the night it's bringing the cold air in with the windows open, and during the day it's just keeping it cool in here while we have the whole house closed up. Another source of heat, actually the major source of heat in the house, would be the stove and oven. So if we're going to use the oven, which is right now really only for baking like cookies, we do that first thing in the morning, like 6 a.m. when we're up and all the windows are open and it's the coolest part of the day. Otherwise, we try to grill or use the Instapot for all of our cooking or microwave. We don't use the oven at all for cooking. We try not to use the stove because that's just gonna heat up the house. And while it doesn't help keep the house cool, to keep all of us cool, we take our morning walks much, much earlier. And we have the puppies cut down. Patty's grooming job, please don't judge us on that. With the self-quarantining, we haven't got her groomed and she was getting way too long and hot, and so we had to do it ourselves. And by the way, we also keep our ice chest full, which doesn't really keep the house cooler, but it keeps us cooler, so make it more ice. Now come afternoon, we start getting sun into our big sliding glass doors and windows, and now we close our insulated curtains to keep the heat out and the cool air in. So this is a new recipe, but it's a bang bang shrimp with pasta in the Instapot. I'll let you know how it turns out because there's no guarantees. But the reason we're doing it is because it just uses the Instapot, which in the summertime is so important. But if it were the winter time, I probably would take the same recipe and actually make it on the stove so that it heats up the house. Because in the winter, we want as much heat in the house as possible. That's why we bake things and everything. But now in the summer, especially at night, we want as little heat as possible. And there's only so many salads you can eat.
This is my favorite time of day. The sun is just about ready to go down. Temperatures are cooling off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just so, I don't know, just after dinner.
Yeah, I think this one ties with dawn for me. I like them both.
Dawn?
Yeah, when it's super chilly. Well, super chilly compared to 95 degrees.
Yeah, there was that.
Yeah. Last step for the evening is once the sun goes down and the temperature is nice outside, open all of the curtains and open the windows to start getting the cool air back into the house.
The 5th and final step.
Yes.
So we just showed you our 5 ways of staying cool in our off-grid house.
Yes. It's working great so far.
That's right. Now, there are a couple of other things that make it a little bit easier on us out here in the middle of the desert. First and foremost, it is a dry heat. And a lot of people say that mockingly, but it's a dry heat. But it really makes a huge, huge difference. Underneath this patio, it's 10 or 15 degrees cooler than it is out in the sun, and that makes a huge difference. When it's 90 degrees outside, it's 75 or 80 underneath this patio, and it's perfectly comfortable to sit out here.
And the patio is one of the other things. So, we didn't have this patio when we first moved in, and we got it installed. And it provides us a place to be outside in the shade, which is awesome, but it also shades this entire side of the house. And so the glass door going into the office, the window going to the office, they never really get direct sun. And that makes a huge difference. Just like putting awnings out on an RV, having shade to block the sun from getting into the house makes a huge difference in terms of heating it up.
That's right. And our house faces south-southwest, which means the sun is beating on our windows. Our bedroom is facing the southwest. Our living room is facing southwest. And even the windows right behind our TV, that's north-northwest.
Yeah.
So all that side of the house is completely baked in sun.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Which is why we have the windows open in the morning when it's coolest and all the blinds open, close up the house, and all we have to do is close up all those curtains, all those insulated curtains at night. But we can have all our windows open and all of our curtains open in the morning because we don't actually have any sun, or even the early afternoon. We don't have any sun baking into any of our windows until the late afternoon.
That's right. Our house was built by a contractor from Minnesota, which means it is incredibly well insulated.
Yes.
It's all cinder block, filled cinder block in a lot of places. So cement inside the holes in the cinder block.
And the roof is
very well
insulated too.
Insulated.
And that makes a difference in keeping the cool air in.
Yes, absolutely.
And the hot air out.
That's right.
So we are at 4,500 feet, right?
4,500 feet.
And so, although our closest big city is Tucson, we're 5 to 10 degrees cooler than Tucson is. So while Tucson has already hit over 100 degrees multiple days this week, our highest has been
94-ish?
94. And yes, we will hit 100 degrees. We know that's going to happen in June, most likely. But the fact that we have the slightly cooler summer temperatures, and it gets cooler here at night. It's still getting down into like the low 50s at night, which means it's
Easily.
really nice to have the windows open. It cools the house way down, and then we just need to keep that cool air in.
So let's recap. First, we close the windows once it gets too hot outside.
Yes.
We keep the ceiling fans on all day long. We limit our range use.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Till the
and
morning,
cook with
or
the grill
just
and
not
the Instapot and all that stuff.
Yeah, not at all. We close the curtains in the afternoon when that west sun is beating on our windows. And then we open up the windows and doors again, the sliding doors again, at night to allow a lot of that cold air back into the house.
Yep, and we keep them open all night long so that those nice cool temperatures cool the house way down, and then we can just keep it cool the next day.
That's right. And there's one more trick that we use to keep the house cool.
And we're so excited about it.
We have not talked about it at all on video, on Instagram, nothing until now. Because we're really happy that this has worked out so well for us.
Yes, exactly. We could be doing with that. We could do without it, but it is making it so much nicer.
We could do without it. In fact, up until a week and a half ago, we have done without it. But this is making it easy. Instead of telling you what we've done,
let's show you.
Let's show you.
This is what we lovingly call our R2D2. It's a portable AC. And we have it kind of in a weird setup right now.
It's kind of ghetto right now.
Yeah, we need to work out, get a longer hose for it and everything. But the important thing to know is that it works. It takes the air from in the house, cools it down, shoots it back out, and all the hot air directs outside this window. So it takes like 1,000 watts?
It takes the same power as our 1,000 watt Instapot.
Yes, to run. And that means with our 4,000 watt inverter and all that solar that we put in, we are fine running this baby while the sun is out. In fact, we could probably run it all night long if we wanted to, but we're still super frugal with our power. So we tend to turn this off right when we start losing enough solar to fully power it. We'd have to go off our batteries. And then we open the windows soon afterwards anyway, so it's not a big deal. But this baby has kept it super cool in the house. And it actually does a pretty decent job all the way out into the gym and office. We just keep all the windows open. Like we said, the fans are going, and that has managed to get this cool air all the way out there.
It could be 93 degrees outside. We set this guy at 72. It usually keeps it at about 74-ish.
In this main room.
In this room. It is, I mean, I sometimes have to put on a jacket to be in this particular room with this guy on. Yeah. So it does a really nice job.
Puts a lot of cold air. We do it that low so that the air can get into the garage or the office.
That's
because
right.
The office gets a little warmer because it's all the way in here.
So to help get the air out into the garage, we have a little box fan that we usually put right here. It sucks the air in through the family room and out to my office.
And we have a friend who actually gave us another portable AC they weren't using, but we don't have another like exhaust hose for it yet. So in June, when it does get to 100 degrees, if the office gets a little bit too warm, because it's the least insulated of all the rooms, we are going to try plugging that sucker into the office. And during the heat of the day, we should be fine running both of them. Oh. Oh.
All right, we're all one big happy family here.
One big happy cool family. Penny. Yeah. See, Penny likes the AC.
Yeah.
She likes R2D2. She likes him. Yes. He's good.
Things are getting fresh back there.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something or at least found it interesting. It's summer, it's hot, snakes are out, and we'll probably do a video next week on how we're avoiding getting killed by snakes.
Us or the dogs.
Or us or the dogs.
Yes. We have not seen our first rattler on our property yet. We're just waiting because we know they're here. But we did say our fun gopher snake.
We saw a gopher snake. If you did not know about that, follow me on Instagram. Link in description below. I have a picture of him. I've named him Pete. He's very cute. Very cute. Anyway, that's enough babbling. We will see you next time.
Stay cool, guys. Stay healthy.
Yes. And from the hot, dry Arizona heat, I bid you farewell.